Good afternoon, welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. Celtic have been given permission to talk to the Columbus Crew manager, Wilfried Nancy. First spoke about this around about 4 days ago. I said that Wilfried Nancy was high on the agenda to be the next Celtic manager. Celtic have been talking to representatives over the last couple of days, and now he is going to speak to Celtic. They have been given permission today to speak to their man. I expect talks to conclude over the weekend and Wilfried Nancy to be announced as Celtic manager next week. Tell me your thoughts in the comments section. This is massive news coming out of Celtic tonight. Not only about the new manager, but Sinisalo has also been speaking to the media back home. Daizen Maeda wants away from Celtic. The new manager, whoever comes in next week, and it looks like it will be Wilfried Nancy, has got a big headache. He's got a massive headache to deal with straight away. He's going to have to deal with players that want away from the club. I wonder if Sky will now talk about the fact that Wilfried Nancy is going to be the next Celtic manager. Tell you, it's unbelievable. Right, we're going to talk about Sinisalo first of all. Sinisalo has been talking to his native media, and he thirsts for more playing time. He says the hunger will be stronger to perform even stronger. He spoke about coming through the system at the same time as a friend of his in the national team, and whilst his friend has went on to play for Mallorca in La Liga, he came to Celtic knowing that he would have to wait his turn. But with all the talk about Kasper Schmeichel maybe getting a new deal next season, Sinisalo, who was a number one keeper for the team that he played for, coming to Celtic, knew it was a big step up, but he was a number one goalkeeper. He's now spent 2 seasons sitting on the bench doing absolutely nothing. He's not a Scott Bain type player. He wants to play, he wants to learn. For me, he should be the number one goalkeeper going forward. The manager's got a massive headache because it's looking like that Sinisalo may ask to get transferred out of Celtic to get some game time. Celtic cannot afford to lose him because, let's face it, we don't have a third choice keeper that's really... You've got Ross Dohan, and if that's the way that Celtic are going, we're in worse trouble than what we've originally thought. Are we heading into another Ronnie Deila escapade at Celtic, where we won't reach the Champions League and we won't have the money to invest that we've had over the recent years, so there will be a levelling down of everything? Could be. It's a massive risk that Celtic are taking. And then there's the news that's also come out that Daizen Maeda has been talking, and it looks like Daizen Maeda will be... It's nothing new. We've all known that he's wanting away. He's on 21 grand a week at Celtic. It's ridiculous when you think about it. In fact, he scored 33 goals last season. But he told Celtic last year that he wanted away. There has been several clubs now named that are sniffing about. Japan came the first team to join the World Cups after they're being held in Canada, Mexico and the USA. Will Daizen Maeda get any game time? Because he didn't get any game time this week. So this new potential. It's the first person that Celtic have asked to speak with. They've been speaking with agents of potential managers this week, but this is the first that they've asked to speak with the person that they want to get in. How do you feel about it? Tell me in the comments. Are you ecstatic? Are you over the moon? Are you thinking, oh, fucking typical Celtic, coming straight from America? Brother Wilfried will be the next Celtic manager. Let's get the comments up on the channel. Super chat from Connor. Brother Wilfried to be the next Celtic manager. I'm just reading the Brother Wilfried. Will he be called Brother Wilfried? That's a big claim, but tell me what your thoughts about it in the comments section. This could be a gamble, taking an MSL manager to Celtic with relatively minimum coaching and managerial experience, says David. What experience did... I'm going to play devil's advocate tonight on this one because it's what I've got to do. What experience did Neil Lennon have as manager when Neil Lennon was handed the reins at Celtic? He never had any managerial experience at all. He was given his first job in management by Celtic. Tisdale shown his influence. I'm not sure if it is. There's obviously the Tisdale connection that's came out, but that connection wasn't known 4-5 days ago. It only really came out the last 2 days. Second-rate French and Yanks players incoming. Oh, interesting, Davey. We've done not bad with French players before. Do you think that they were going to go second-rate French players all of a sudden? I've read that it's funny because when the story broke around about 20 minutes ago that Celtic had been given permission, I looked back at the video 4 days ago and the negativity towards the guy was unreal. And all I said was when you look at the stats and the way that he plays football, you could understand why he was high up the agenda. If it was a straight race between him, McKenna and Knudsen, there was only one person that was ever going to win the race in reality. Knudsen was going to be at Bodo Glimt until way into next year. Celtic need a manager now, remember. We don't need a manager, and you've got to think, we've spoke about it over the last couple of the days, about the importance of getting a manager in now because we need to get into the Champions League next year. We need the Champions League money. It's as simple as that. If we go any 2 or 3 years without Champions League money, we're back into Ronnie Dyler situation. Back into Ronnie Dyler. So you can understand why he's become one of the favourites for the job. 5 million to get McKenna. McKenna got a team relegated from the EPL. He spoke the right chat. Do you know, but when it comes to the finances, maybe Celtic were thinking, do you know, he's not really done anything in the game. He's not won things, you could say. But then people say, well, neither's this guy. He has won a couple of things, and he took his team to the later stages of the Champions League version in North America. Utter shambles. Fucking gamble. Probably knows more about basketball than Scottish football. Typical Celtic, always going down the Pals Act route. Was it a Pals Act route, or is it one of those situations that we found ourselves back in 2020 when Ange Postecoglou came through the door? That's all I'm saying. Do you know, we were very about Ange when he came through the door. There was a lot of negativity then. It took a lot of time for fans to get on board. It's a big risk. Do you know, it is a big risk. But could be the risk. That's worth taking. You just never know. As long as we don't act like the zombies trying to hire a manager, I don't think so. I mean, the fact that the fact that we've actually shown that we want to officially approach a manager now is... I mean, I know that there's been talks going on all week, but this is the first and the only official approach that Celtic have made, which means, you know, it's almost in the bag. It's almost in the bag. Is this corporate policy as opposed to football scouting acquisition? No idea. Cheap option. Ambition was to go for Hayden or Knudsen. But Knudsen's not going to be available. Do you know, we spoke about it the other night. Are you prepared to have no Champions League football? Are you prepared to have no Champions League football next season just to wait on Knudsen? after it would have been February, March before you could get Knudsen. He would not leave his club in the middle. He's not leaving Bodo Glimt when they've got Juventus and fucking Madrid and everybody to play to come to Celtic. Let's get real. Do you know, this guy had just finished his season with Columbus Crew. He's at the end of the season. It's easy for him to walk into another job. It was very difficult for other managers to leave mid-season, although Celtic managed to get rid of managers mid-season. But anyway, another super chat come in. John, the truck driving legend. Hail from the Republic of Freedom, Felman. We need Baz on Sky. Fuck that. I would never go on Sky. Not a fucking chance. Not a fucking chance. Get a spicy haggis supper for Paul's and Glenoffice when you're back. Yeah, will do, mate. I'll get that in at the beginning of December. Thank you. Oh, now you've got me thinking of spicy haggis supper. Spicy haggis supper. Anyway, cheap option. There was no ambition to go for Hayden or Knudsen. Dimitri Crane, third choice keeper. As long as they don't try and put all their eggs in one basket like they did Howie. Well, I think the Howie situation was a bit different because all his backroom staff were all working at other clubs. So it was difficult to try and get them all out their jobs, as where this guy and his backroom staff have finished their season. So it's easier to get him in just now. And if he's the guy, I fully back him. I fully back you've got to fully back our manager. Because if you don't, we start acting like that mob across the city and you end up trying to chase him out the door after 2 or 3 games. Paul Bear says every manager is a gamble. This is going to be a nightmare of an appointment. He's won hee-haw in America, Baz. He has won in America. I think you need to go and check what he's won, mate. Just saying. Neil Lennon played at the highest levels, knows what it takes to win at Celtic. That's not a good CV for a Celtic manager's job, though. No experience. That's not a CV for getting a manager's job. That's an old pals act. You can't on one hand say it's an old pals act with Tisdale, and then say that Neil Lennon was a fantastic appointment because it was an old pals act with Lawwell. Do you know what I mean? Anyway. Yep. Could also be Mark Cooper. He knows America pretty well. Nancy will be a disaster. Mark my words. I should actually take screenshots of these, because when he wins the treble this year, it's going to be hilarious. Our next manager, right, Nancy, the banter years will keep rolling. We need an angry man in charge. Have you seen the way that company runs Bayern? I don't think we've ever had an angry man in charge. We should sell Celtic to the City Group. That would put us in the Champions League because of ownership. I don't think so. Fed up, but sadly not surprised. Ooh, interesting comments. French players always going half like Ollie Mitchum. Ozzy Online says the guy's stats are exciting. I think so. And I said, how the fuck is that? Sky just changed in colour. Do you know, we went over his stats 4 days ago on the channel. I thought that what he has done previously, his formation, the way that he plays, the competitions that he's won, the fact that he got a club to the final of the North American version of the Champions League, was all plus points. Do you know? It was all plus points. Brother Wilfried. Obviously the cheaper option. Or was it the cheaper option or the option that was the easiest available? I think you have to come down to availability. And then again, you don't know if there has been talks with other players, if there has been talks with other managers, other potential managers, you have to then ask, well, what were the discussions between the agents? Why didn't Celtic want to take it forward with the other ones? Maybe the could be as simple as the managers that were spoken about, their agents spoke to them and said, look, it's not the right time. I can't move right now. I don't want to move right now. Maybe the McKenna one came down to money. I don't know. Dr. Joe did a few good things, yeah. Dr. Joe Venglos came out of nowhere, was seen as a cheap option. Mr. Continuity never really did it great, but Tisdale should be going after such a shocking transfer window. Now he's packing our manager is unbelievable. This disrespectful comments is shocking. The MLS is rated 10th in the world. The SPFL is 34. People need to get a grip. They need to get a chance. Yeah, when you look at... I'm not going to go down that road. Yeah, we'll just leave that comment as that. As Big Rab says, the American League and the money that goes around the American League is a bit more than goes around Scottish football. That's all I'm saying. Scraping the barrel would rather have a nil till the end of the season. Yeah, but Rory, then that leaves us in a perilous position where if O'Neill stays to the end of the season, we've got someone coming in and it's too late to get players in and to try and qualify for the Champions League. It's been proven. I admire Celtic for having a set of balls with this one. I know that we want rid of the board and stuff, but I'm glad that they made the decision now and not to wait. There's too much at risk. You know, the financials that we've seen over the last couple of years will dwindle away due to the fact that we will not have Champions League money this year. If we wait to get a manager in the summer, and he's thrown straight in July to... Look, Ange Postecoglou never made the Champions League his first year. Said the games came too quick. That will ring in the earlobes of the people in charge at Celtic. When Ange Postecoglou said the games came too quick. That high level of intensity and game came far too quick in his managerial career for Celtic. It came far too quick for the players. You need to get the players in. You need to get them bedded in. Ange Postecoglou said it. Brendan Rodgers said it. You need to get the players in because it takes about a month for a player just to find somewhere to stay permanently. They're staying in a hotel. They're coming from a different country. If we're going to be bringing players in from a different country and different leagues and all the rest of it, they're staying in hotels. You know, they've got loads of shit going on in their personal life. You know, dealing with getting cars, houses and all this stuff. Celtic aren't sitting with a bank of houses to go, there to go, put you in this house that we've got for you. You know, they have to help a player find all that. And then he's got to feel settled. And all that takes a couple of months. If we're going to go out this transfer window and say to this guy, look, we want you to go and get players that you think will get us into the Champions League in the summer, that's the conversations that we'll be having had this week. Do you know? It's scraping the barrel again. We'd rather have a nil to the end of the season, says Roy. I've looked into this guy and his achievements are impressive, says David. Bag of cans in the fridge. Celtic Saturday. Electric hip hop, beer and bars and TV. There we go. DD will be staying. The rest can go. What the hell's going on? Please recap. Well, let's read the bit along the bottom. Columbus Crew have granted permission to Celtic for Wilfried Nancy to speak to Dermot Desmond. He's been speaking to his agent over the last couple of days. He's been speaking to various potential managers' agents, and Celtic have finally made an offer to want to speak. When it gets that far down the line, it's almost done deal. The MLS is 10th best league. The SPFL is 39th. Not bad league, exactly. But it's Celtic fans. Came on the channel back in Ange to the Hills when he was linked. Never mind, join the guy has my backing. I think that if he can have half the success, if he can have as much success as Ange did, and even Brendan Rodgers. If he wins the double this year, I gotta love this comment. Typhoon McFlustery, you need to go and look up stuff because saying that he's won nothing. Oh, it's hilarious. It is hilarious. Went back down playing iced tea. That was one of the best albums ever, wasn't it? The one where he's got the shotgun coming out his mouth. We are doomed, mark my words. The negativity. Martin O'Neill told Ange to stay. Yeah, he did. So did everyone else. Scotland isn't cold enough for Coodson. No, he's not. But he's never going to leave. Do we know for sure? Is it shite? Yes, we know for sure. We know it's for sure. Go and check Sky if you want. It's all over Sky now as well. Do you know what I mean? I love it when people say, you just make shit up, mate. It's not a done deal. What Celtic have done, have asked permission to speak to him. When you get down that far, you can take it as much as it's a done deal. You're not asking for official permission to speak to a manager. We've never asked for official permission to speak to anyone yet. This is the first time that we've done it. We've been speaking to agents. You can speak to agents all day long. Do you know, you're not making an official approach to a manager. Every single manager that we've been linked with has been in post. So, having gone this far down the road, I expect the fact that if they've asked permission to talk to them, it means that there is talks ongoing today. If it's Nancy, let's get behind them, give them a chance. Yep, exactly, mate. Exactly. I think Celtic fans will. Ange had a free track of what? Success in Japan, Australia, and internationally. Nothing to recommend him. Yes, he does. Jesus God, honestly. Massive risk, but let's hope it works out. Ange's too big for his boots. Too soon. Sad. Too big for his boots? What do you mean too big for his boots? Ange said as soon as he left Celtic he would never go back. Back to possession-based football then. Not really, Chris, because he plays a 3-4-2-1 formation. He plays a formation that's more attacking than Brendan Rodgers. Way more attacking. Way more attacking than Ange Postecoglou. He only plays 3 at the back. We've been crying out for 3 at the back. Crying out for 3 at the back in Scottish football. 4 in the midfield. 2 in front of them and then a striker up then. Gives you a fast attacking football formation. Do you know? Pauls and Kirkcaldy's better. I wouldn't know. Better in the long run. Yeah. Spicy smoked sausage. Taking a lodge. What? Wait a minute. Hold the bus. A spicy smoked sausage. What is a spicy smoked sausage? Definitely need a more experienced manager. I don't get this thing that we need a more experienced manager. The guy's got experience. Just because he's not got experience in European football. Ange never had European football experience. Look at the abuse and all the negativity that came around Ange when he came to Scotland. Oh, you can't bring a Celtic manager with no European experience. 3 months later, it's the form we have found since Ange has been around that has taken us to the exact same people singing that. That has taken us to the top of the league. Brother Wilfried. Oh, there'll be a Brother Wilfried song coming out. It's the form we have found since Brother Wilfried's been around that has taken us to the top of the league. Oh, brilliant. Sefco women's game is live. Who gives a fuck? Eddie, why are you even talking about that? And I will back the manager. An unknown could be what we need for a full restart. Exactly. I mean, people have been saying we need a refresh. We need a restart. And maybe the board have went, okay, we'll give them a restart. We'll bring in someone that's unknown, that we think has the quality to do the job, that has the temperament to do the job, has the ability to put out an attacking formation that will please the fans, and at the same time be defensively in a European context. And this is what's important. You don't get to the North American version of the Champions League final if you're a bad manager. Let's face it. It doesn't happen. I'm not doubting the gaffer unless he's given me reason to. Welcome to the madhouse, Wilfried. Yeah, Highlander, you've got it in one. It is the madhouse. Of course, we'll back the manager until it's obvious it's not working out. Says Dublin's first city. I never backed the rat second time, and I was proven right, by the way. This is very, very true. Right, give me a second. I'm going to take this hoodie off. It's roasting. Fucking boiling. Just like that. So let's get into some more of these comments tonight. The breaking news that Celtic have been granted permission to speak to the Columbus Crew boss. Somebody asked about the temperature. It went down to 16 degrees today. It went up to 19, 20, and then it was sitting about 18, but it's pushing it in. We're getting some storm that's been over in America. Nancy plays 3-4-2-1, so he's going to be for a Christmas tree formation. I don't want Nancy. He's far too inexperienced. Maldini would have been my choice. Paolo Maldini, yeah, sure it was. But anyway, Lenny was doomed to failure. Chris D says, fair play to Paul Baird. He stuck to his guns. He did that. He called out Rodgers for a long time. Sacre bleu. Oh, as long as we didn't get any of that blue cheese on the go. Ah, Jesus. Right. He looks like Jay-Z. Don't be saying that. Oh my God, never thought we'd be Nancy boys. The Green Brigade are the ones that were called the Nancy boys. Plus, Alistair Johnson played under Nancy. Ali rates him. The way he sets up. That's an interesting one. I never knew that Alistair Johnson played under him. Well, there's another link. We've had two elite managers in a row with Brendan. Whoa, wait a minute here. Ange Postecoglou was not a top-class elite manager. Come on. Boys, 1986. Ange Postecoglou was not a top-rate elite European manager. That is crazy, chat. That is absolute bonkers, chat. Everyone doubted Ange Postecoglou. The media doubted him. You had people in the media saying, Ange Postecoglou who? Come on. We need a stadium upgrade. Yeah, we do that. The board are morons. Going for a guy that will eventually call them out. Skeptical about this story. Time will tell. Chris D, well, you better, if you're skeptical, just put on Sky News, because right along the ticker on Sky News, Columbus Crew have given head coach Wilfried Nancy permission to speak to Celtic about the managerial vacancy. Just the same as along here. It's the exact same on Sky now. Last fresh player we had, regularly starting 11 goals, 1 every 3 games, not so bad. Hopefully it doesn't all break down the first rehearsal. Not sure about this, see if it's a cheap option. Is it a cheap option though? Because there will be compensation. This guy does have a contract that runs until 2027. He's still got at least a year and a bit on his contract. I don't know if it's 2 seasons on his contract. He was given a contract extension last year. When Columbus Crew took him from Montreal, they had to pay Montreal $4 million in compensation to get their man from Montreal. So Celtic will still have to be paying around about £4 million compensation to get Wilfried Nancy to Celtic. We're not getting him on a free like we did the Ange Postecoglou. We didn't have to pay anything for Ange. I don't think there was any compensation. At least it's not Robbie Keane or Damien Duff. Yeah, thank goodness. Whoever the manager is will get behind them surely. We don't need a 36-year-old rookie manager. MLS Pash. Oy. Someone who demands respect, like Jock Martin and Davy Hay. How do you know that this one doesn't command respect? You don't know anything about him. I think that if Alistair Johnston has had a lot of good words to say about him, I would go with what Ali Johnson says before you lot, being perfectly honest. Do you think that Nancy looks like the guy from the Madonna video? No idea, Big Diz. It's showing your age there. Who's Madonna? Can't be chasing them out of football grounds like the zombies. No, we can't. The only one that picking the manager is Dermot Desmond. Well, I think that I don't think Dermot Desmond will speak to this guy. I don't think Dermot Desmond will have been in talks with every single agent this week. I think that would come down to the people at Celtic on Dermot's behalf. And when it comes to it, once Dermot would have been in with talks at some point, he's not going to be sitting there with the agents of this guy, of Coodson, of McKenna. He's not going to be sitting in meetings with them going, right, what's the situation? He leaves that to the Celtic board. Once it gets to this stage, he goes, right, I'll phone him. Ask for permission to speak to him. I'll give him a call, see what he wants. See if he wants the job, and we take it from there. It's a done deal. It's similar to what we did with Ange Postecoglou. Celtic were trying to surpass the Russell Martin appointment. I don't think so. Jesus God. Sinisalo should be number one end of the manager is worth his salt. Casper should take a back seat. Yeah, that's an interesting one because obviously he's coming into the Celtic manager's job now. He's coming in to the manager's job at an interesting time. He's got a number of players that want away from the club. There's a number of players that are past their sell-by date. He will know the likes of Cameron Carter-Vickers. He will know Trusty. They will know of him. It will be interesting to get their view on the manager. If anything, those are the guys. The fact that he managed Alistair Johnston. If Alistair Johnston's saying nothing but good things about him, well, I would take what the players know more than what we know because they're in the game. They're from that neck of the woods, as they say, over the pond. So, don't know. But he is coming into a time where you've got a number 2 goalkeeper who was told he was going to play cup games. That was going to be his progress and he's not getting cup games. It's alarming for me that Sinisalo may see his short-term future away from the club to get some game time. Because he'll know that he needs to play football. Because it then puts his number 2 position for his national team in doubt. And this is what he's worried about. He's worried about his number 2 position in the World Cup squad being put into question. The fact that he was a number 1 goalkeeper before he came to Celtic. He's a lot younger, but he knows that more older, experienced goalkeepers get the nod. If Celtic then go down the route this summer, we have wasted 2 years of Sinisalo being at Celtic. If Celtic go out this summer, as has been suggested, and Celtic go out and get an older goalkeeper, especially from Man City, it's game over for Sinisalo. He's off. He'll just go, nah, fuck this, I want to go and play. I need to go and play. I'm in the national team. There's a chance I'll drop out of it. Rio Hatate doesn't even get picked for the national team now. He'll want away this summer, next summer. Wouldn't surprise me if Rio Hatate wants away in the next window. It's a massive, massive window that this guy is walking into. He's walking into, if he does take up the offer of the job, is he walking into a cauldron of fire? There's a negativity that's amassing around the club this week, which is only going to come to boiling point next week. 54 minutes ago, the update from Anthony Joseph. Columbus Crew have granted permission for their boss Wilfried Nancy to speak to Celtic. It's understood that the Hoops held talks with 48-year-old representatives and he is opening open to join Celtic. Nancy is due to have direct discussions with Celtic hierarchy over the weekend. So that's it. 19 minutes ago, there's been another. If a deal can be agreed, they will then talk about compensation. Martin O'Neill has spoken and said that he will extend his stay if Celtic do not appoint the new manager before next weekend. That's breaking news, that Martin O'Neill will stay on longer if the new manager is not appointed before next weekend. It's very, very fluid breaking news that Martin O'Neill will stay if the new Celtic. So that, to me, Dermot Desmond has spoken to Martin O'Neill. He knows that there is talks ongoing, and he knows that, look, if it all falls to bits, he will be there to pick up the reins, as they say. So I've just added that to the ticker along the bottom. Columbus Crew have granted permission for their boss Wilfried Nancy to speak to Celtic. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section. And then also there's a bit of breaking news that Martin O'Neill in talks to extend stay if Celtic do not appoint a new manager before next weekend. So there we go, we have it. It looks like it is all about what money is going to be offered, what compensation package will the Americans look for. Very, very fluid, very, very up to the date breaking news when it comes to the Celtic manager's post. It's an interesting one. A lot of people going on about cheapest option, a lot of negativity, as you'd expect from... There was a comment, actually. Where was that comment? Someone said about the entitlement of the entitled fan base that we currently have. Can't wait to see someone untapped American Canadian talent that could throw from his time there. Yeah, I think so. Do you know? If we can pull out, if we got Alistair Johnston and we got him at a fantastic price, and we all agree Alistair Johnston's a top player, he might know other players in the American market that we don't know of, Canadian market, even the French market. You know, we're not going to go down the Asian route anymore. That's more than apparent, because some of the players that we've brought in from Asia, whilst have been good, some have been rubbish, some have been moved on pretty quick, some have come in and done absolutely nothing. So it's obviously that we're looking from a Celtic point of view. When you look at the successful North American tour that they did 2 summers ago, that North American tour was a great success for the club. We even won some good games of football playing over there. There's a bigger target audience. Well, it was all nice and fine, you know, want to go to Japan, want to break the Asian market and all the rest of it. Let's face it, there's more Celtic fans in North America with money. And this is what it comes down to with Celtic. There's more Celtic fans with money in North America than there is Celtic fans in Asia. Do you know? And maybe Celtic have spoken about it so many times about the North American market. That's where the TV money is. Do you know? Celtic managed to sell TV rights in North America, and then it's happy days. You know, it's happy days. Ross says, I'm quite happy about Nancy, to be honest. So it could be a genius appointment or a disaster. Baz, this could be the biggest managed decline ever. Time will tell, mate. I don't think that it will be any more damaging than when we brought in the Ronnie Roar. I don't think it's any more damaging than that. I think that they will look at what he's done and the fact that, you know what, yeah, could do a good job for us. Could do a good job. And you've got to remember that the talks will come around 3-year plan. Do you know, we'll talk about where we are just now, where we are in January, what is needed in January, what's needed in the summer, and the importance of qualifying. There'll be a big, massive emphasis on qualifying for the Champions League. There'll be more pressure on this guy right from the very first moment to get everything right, because he knows that he starts work. He takes the job next week. He starts work next week. Not on winning the league, not on winning the cups, but yeah, preparing the team for next season, for winning the cup now, for winning the leagues now, but mentally preparing these players and bringing in new players in the next transfer window with one eye on the prize. And the prize is qualification for the Champions League. If it doesn't happen and he doesn't reach the Champions League, then it'll go against him, and then it'll be managed decline of a monumental proportion. But I don't think it'll be any bigger than the managed decline that we went through under Ronnie Deila. I don't want Wilfried because he's coming in for the MFL, for fuck's sake. The facts are the more scrimp and scrape on players we all do as managers. We've got compensation to pay, Chris. There's going to be around about 4 million. They paid Montreal $4 million to take him to Columbus Crew. They give him an extension on his contract last summer so that other teams wouldn't come sniffing about. They will want at least a minimum of £4 million compensation for their manager. It's not a cheap option. He's not out of contract. Do you know? I just don't see it. And once it does come out, how much we're paying for him in his back room, once it comes out what the compensation will be, he might not accept the job. It's time to put Sinisalo as number 1. Casper's not up to it anymore, says Celtic. Mad. What kind of players did he win with? That's the big question. Will it work at Celtic? Well, like I say, what we need is a manager that's, for all accounts, he fell out with the board over there. He's quite vocal. He is quite vocal. How will that go down with this current board? Do you know? Who do the fans want? O'Neill. But O'Neill doesn't want the job full time. O'Neill says that, look, 2 weeks at his age, he's 73-year-old man. 3 weeks ago now, he was walking down the road in London just after buying a fucking highly expensive coffee. And the phone rings. He's like, oh, fuck, it's Dermot. Hi, Dermot. How did what? Brendan's left. Oh, great. Fuck. How can I help you? Do I want the job on a part-time basis, Dermot? Well, can I finish my coffee? No, I don't have the time to finish my coffee. I've got 10 minutes to think about it. Okay, then. Well, I better take... Okay, I'll help Celtic out because I'm a very good friend of yours. Fuck. Phones the missus. I need to go to Glasgow. What are you fucking going to Glasgow for? Brendan's walked. He was sacked. He was pushed out the door. Anyway, he's in the past, and it's all about this man. If he accepts the job over the weekend, he will become the first French manager. And he will not become a Paul Le Guen. Nothing like it. Nothing like it. Typical Celtic board. Nancy knows nothing about Scottish football. Thomas, go and tell me what Ange knew about Scottish football. They should do an interview with Alistair Johnson, ask him about Nancy. They should do... Well, he's French, so I would say that he was. As Wilfried the Catholic. There's more chance of him being Catholic than anything else because he's French. Just saying. Majority of them are Catholic. Like, you know, so... happens all the time. They were dilly-dally. Not when it gets to this stage. You know, Dermot is very on point. I don't think it'll be I don't think that there'll be talks with the hierarchy. It will go straight to Dermot Desmond, this one. Just like it did with Ange, like it did with, whether we like it or not, do you know, I'm not here to say that Dermot is right to be doing what he does, but it comes down to a phone call with Dermot Desmond, and he talks to the man about what he expects a Celtic manager to do and perform and achieve. He then asks the aspirations of the said potential manager. And I think once you start talking about the potential of getting into the Champions League, do you know, that's what Ange Postecoglou was like. Oh, definitely. I want to make Celtic a big European force again. I want to make us good in Europe. I want us to be feared in Europe. Just change your style then. This guy isn't too scared to change his style, isn't too scared to change formation. I think that he will give a lot of Celtic fans a little bit of a fair play. But then again, won't matter who will get the board, will back him in the transfer window. Yes, they will back him. Just the same words as this is the best league in the world bullshit. It's down to money. This is not the best league in the world. Scotland is not the best league in the world. By far. It's nowhere near it. I never thought I'd say this, but let's get behind this Nancy, says Ross. Baz, you're doing a great job talking sense. Folk need to know that recruitment is a complex business. Let's get on with it and stop the... Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Let me just jump through the names. What's Wilfried being a Catholic got to do with it? Cheap options. Football life, you're never happy. I've never seen one happy comment for you at all. Never. Even when we win, I don't think I've seen a happy comment for you, mate. We're doomed, Mr. Manning. We're doomed. Nancy's won plenty. Yeah, I know. But it's everywhere. What's everywhere? The news now. Didn't want Nancy. We'll get behind him 110%. At the end of the day, I think that, do you know, there has been a list of managers that we've wanted to look at. There's obviously been discussions with their agents this week. A lot of it, like I said, comes down to timing, comes down to availability, comes down to desire. If the managers that have been spoken to do not have an overwhelming desire to stop everything right now and say, I want the Celtic job, there is no point in taking the conversation any further. No point whatsoever. And this is why you talk to agents. This is why you don't go straight in and talk to a manager. You don't go straight in and negotiate with a manager for him to go, nah, I don't want the job. That's what Rangers did. Rangers spoke to the manager, and the manager went, they went, do you know, they got turned down. No one has turned down Celtic because no one has got to this stage where we've asked permission to speak to a manager who is currently in employment. And it will be interesting to see the compensation that that we need to pay out for this guy. I'm just close out. Nancy may know when the job. Well, it's came out that he is keen on the job, and that's why they've went into discussions. The stuff coming out of Sky is the fact that they've spoke to his agent. Columbus Crew have been granted permission. It's now on Sky News. That'll be all over the... It's understood the Hoops held talks with the 48-year-old representatives, and he is open to joining Celtic. He would like to have discussions with Celtic. He's due to have discussions over the weekend. Columbus Crew have granted that permission. If he does accept the position of Celtic manager, it will then go on to... Celtic will then approach Columbus Crew to talk about compensation if a deal can be agreed. I think that I think he's only on $1.5 million over there. You know, people will say, well, if he's only on that, I don't know. We'll wait and see. But it looks like that he could be the guy. The fact that they went down this far on the road. So that is your breaking news tonight. Can we pass on the good luck and backing from the Celtic women tonight? So that's what I was talking about. Let me just feel that. I'm just trying to find a comment. Give me a second. I'll just go right to the bottom and then go back the way. Somebody says, give a shout out to the Celtic women who play the Rangers women tonight. Yeah, that's it, done. I can't find the message. 39th behind League One. Why the negativity? We are Celtic. Let's get behind whoever gets the job. Negativity FC. The board is destroying this club. What do you expect me to say? I'm not backing the board. I want who cares about golf? Good God. There it is, big rab. Can we pass on the good luck in the back into the Celtic women tonight? They're in a semi-final against the Buns. Well, there you go. Didn't even know that. Anyone that wants a job needs a mental assessment first. Yeah, this is true actually. And maybe that's why. A manager from the MLS would love the chance to coach in Europe. $2 million compensation. Seemingly $2 million compensation. I can't see that. Not when they paid $4 million to get him from Canada. I can't see it being as low as $2 million. If it is, he's written that into his contract, which seems to be good. Mancini is a checkbook manager. Mancini's got a job. If he wasn't interested in Celtic, Celtic would do for permission to speak. Exactly. Anyway, right, that is me done and dusted for this Friday evening. Hopefully we'll have some kind of update tomorrow morning with the new potential Celtic manager, Wilfried Nancy. Jesus, never thought you'd be saying that, did you? Anyway, do we need to start learning some French? Bad enough for Spanish, never mind French. On that note, have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.